recording. All right, so welcome to our team call for July 14th. Super excited because this is Summit Week. If you guys missed our launch, the Summit pre-launch, hold on, I've got to mute whoever just popped on. On Friday night, it was a 3-hour call, but you guys, it was so worth it if you didn't make it. The speakers were incredible, so many nuggets of wisdom, and then the recognition at the end was incredible. We had so many coaches on our team being celebrated for new rank advancements, and I just want to shout out Ashley Halligan, who was the #1 Beachbody Challenge winner, losing over 100 pounds, just incredible, her story. And Mary Paige Larson coming in at #3 in the Beachbody Challenge. Also just an incredible transformation. She's lost over 50 pounds and just, they're both like totally different women from the day they started. So huge congrats to them. Yeah, I think pretty much everybody was probably in tears. So if you missed that summit, please go back and watch it. I posted it in the team page today. Also know that there's a graphic up in the team page about all of the summit events that are happening this week, but I would highly recommend that you download the summit app, the TVB events app, because you can set little reminders on your phone and it will ding when things are going on so that you don't miss any of the keynote speakers or the opening sessions or any of that kind of stuff. And super fun. We're planning on Saturday night at 7:30 before the summit celebration. We are all planning, every single year we pick a color to take a team photo, and since we can't do that this year, we decided to go bold and go with red this year. So if you can make it on that, we're gonna have like a happy half-hour cocktail hour before that summit celebration. If you cannot, yes, I think I said at 7 because it's at 7:30. Anyways, the graphic is in the team page for it. There will be a reminder that goes up Thursday morning for that. If you cannot make it on Saturday, we are asking that you get all dolled up in your red outfit, snap a selfie, text it to me. My phone number is in the team page. I'm gonna make a cool team graphic of all our photos so that we have a memory of a team photo of Summit 2020. So excited for that, and hopefully you guys can all be there. But please be in the know and make sure to download that app so you don't miss any of the events this year. And I just want to throw this out there that I know for a lot of us, it's hard to feel as engaged as we typically would, being that we are not like in Summit, you know, in the stands all together. But the content is going to be just as incredible as it would be if we were there. So just act like you just invested $300 for a ticket, you know, and a couple $100 for a hotel room. And that you go all in this week and be on those events and take notes and soak in what you need to learn. And one of my best tips, I guess, for Summit, and I'd love if anybody else wants to chime in on this, but not trying to implement every single thing that you hear, because I feel like sometimes when you have so many like incredible speakers and coaches and things coming at you, that you kind of flail trying to think like, I need to implement all of these things, right? And like, think about where you're at in your business, what you want to achieve moving forward. And if you're in the Diamond Dash, like what you're pushing for the next 45 days, and then look for those nuggets of things that are going to help you move your business forward specifically to you, and take action on implementing those things, and keep the other stuff for, you know, a little bit down the road when maybe you have some more time. But this is a big time for us for just like being in the trenches and taking action, and staying excited. So does anybody have any questions about Summit or anything they want to add? Yes, dressing up in red as if we were all together. And make sure you're taking a selfie and sending it to me, whether you're hopping on our celebration or not, either or. That way you can be included. If you don't text me a photo in red, you won't be included in that photo. So please make sure that you do that, even if you do it tomorrow or whenever this week. Any questions about that? No. Okay. One more thing, if you guys are in the Diamond Dash, I just want to make sure that you know, last night we had the kickoff call. If you missed that, the recording is up in that page. It was fire. Keith Callahan just like brought the energy about getting really hyped for this group and how it can be the complete game changer in your business, whether you are brand new or you've been stuck in the same spot for a while, or you are ready to like go all in and level up and have this be a game-changing year. Whatever has happened up until this point, you know, if you've kind of been going through the motions in quarantine, like use this as a launching pad to be fired up and push for the rest of 2020 with us. I know that we are fired up, but make sure you catch that call in the Diamond Dash as well. And I think that's it.
I'll add to that, Dana, before we introduce. So I can already see as new coaches like deciding to dive into this, and then this week is like, holy shit, I can't keep up with everything going on. I want you guys, I suggest making a daily to-do list. So it's like the business tracker, but you literally have a list on paper of the things you need to do each day. Number one on that list should be Diamond Dash. Like, follow that page, check into that page, see what's going on, see what they're encouraging you to do. This week, they are following kind of like the summit engagement, like just show up to summit. So have your calendar out, mark down what's going on for summit. If you can't make it on live, catch it later. Like, just schedule in things so it doesn't all just get away from you and it's Saturday and you're like, oh shit, I got to catch up on 7 days in the Diamond Dash, summit videos, team calls. Like, I'm overwhelmed and I'm going to like go into the bushes behind me. So try to just like get control over what your business looks like, or when you have time to check into it is going to be a huge help so that you don't feel that way come the end of each week where you're trying to play catch up. I know a lot of times people say like, will that be recorded? Catch the recording. Like, prioritize Diamond Dash videos, summit videos this week. If you don't have time for things, you need to decide like what's going to move the needle forward for me in my business today, and just keep showing up to do something each day. Because I get it, like new coach, veteran coach, whatever, as soon as you start to like fall behind, it's overwhelming. And if you're like me, you might be like, forget it, I'm just going to do my own thing. Don't do that. I think that's all I wanted to say about that. Yeah, that's all.
And just on an MBF note, our launch group is rocking. We are in week 1. I am totally planning for all of us to come out of this next 3 week with killer transformation. So let's crush this so that we can continue sharing that journey publicly too. All right, now we're gonna move on to our guest speaker. Kelsey, so grateful that you took time out of your night to come share with us. I actually saw a call that Kelsey did for Jessica's team probably a couple months ago. And I listened to it and I just thought it was so great because I've never heard anybody kind of share in this way about just like making your own rule book for this business. So I'm going to go over her accolades, even though I know she'll probably say like, don't judge just based off that. Kelsey is a 7-star diamond in her first business center, 3-star diamond in her spouse account, 2-star in her second business center, and an emerald in her 4th business center. She's Success Club 10 All-Star Legend for 67 months, and her team has been elite 3 times. So this is a mama on a mission. She is also a retired news reporter thanks to coaching. So super excited to have you on tonight, Kelsey. Thank you for coming.
Of course. And yeah, of course. I sit back and I always hear people start those calls like that. And I'm like, oh God, what I really am is a sleep deprived mother that's what I am. I have a newborn. She's 3.5 months old. And, she has just completely turned my world upside down in the past 3.5 months. So everything minus the 2-star actually has come before baby. So we'll see what this next chapter looks like. But guys, I want to start off tonight. I am going to talk to you guys about burning the rule book and choosing yourself first, because like Dana said, actually, I think this is kind of funny that I'm doing it this week, because this is a perfect time to do this call, because you guys are about to get just bombarded with information. And the cool thing about the virtual summit is that you do get to kind of take it at your own pace. Whenever we're in a live event, it's very like immersion learning. Like, you're sitting there for hours and you're taking it all in. And that's when I notice a lot of people get extremely overwhelmed. But this one is nice because, like Annalisa said, you guys can take this to-do list and you can just still make it a priority, but you can take it in small bites, which is kind of nice. Because next year, God willing, it's not going to be like that. So with that being said, I want to start off with my story because it does play a role into tonight's call and why I'm so passionate about burning this rule book, this Beachbody rule book that we think we're supposed to follow. So, so you guys can kind of get a picture of who I am before accolades. I started this thing back in 2014, and I started it because I really didn't have another choice. I don't know if any of you guys feel that way, like you just kind of stumbled across it, and it was like, my life is just not in a good place right now, and I needed to do anything to change it. It came into my life when I needed it the most, and I didn't even know it at the time. And to give you guys some backstory, I did battle depression and anxiety for as long as I can remember. It started as a kid when I was bullied really bad when I was a kid. And then every time something was like off in my life, I'd fall into this state of like sadness and panic, and I would just revert back to bad habits. And if you guys have ever dealt with this, you probably know when it comes to anxiety and depression, it's extremely hard to get yourself out, especially as a kid, especially as a teenager and your raging hormones. And my parents tried to deal with this the only way that they knew how. They took me to the doctor. I got prescribed antidepressants, and then I would temporarily feel better. And before I knew it, something else would trigger it. And so in 2009, my best friend, she passed away in a car accident. And that like took my depression to the next level. It was the darkest time of my entire life. And then I carried this anger and sadness into every other aspect of my life. And it went through all the way through college. It went into my first career as a TV news reporter, which like I said, I'm retired from it now, but at the time, like that was all I ever wanted to do with my life. When I was a little girl, I didn't grow up saying I wanted to be a Beachbody coach. Like I wanted to be the next Susie Colbert on the NFL sidelines. Like that was going to be my job. But when you're young, nobody tells you how unglamorous that life is actually going to be. We're told to dream big and to go after all these things. And so like we put in our heads that we can do and be whatever we want. But guess what happens? Nobody tells you what you're going to get paid. Nobody tells you what your vacation time is going to look like. Nobody tells you all that stuff. And so once you actually get into that career, it's like a slap in the face where it's like, oh, this is all there is. And so I started my career at a small news station in Clarksburg, West Virginia. My salary was $21,000 a year. 21. I'm saying that correctly. That came out to about $500 every 2 weeks after taxes. And I lived in this horrific apartment where the roof leaked. I didn't feel safe. And I remember countless times like having to pack a bag and drive to Planet Fitness so I could shower because my water heater would go out. But that was all I could afford. I remember the day coming home to a $600 electric bill and just like collapsing to the floor because that was more than one of my 2-week paychecks. I was absolutely broke. And I was at the point where I was choosing between gas and then groceries. And because of all this, my history of depression started sneaking through the door again. And so that's when April of 2014 happened. And I was scrolling through social media and I came across this post from a girl that I used to work with at a bar in Morgantown, West Virginia. I went to WVU. And honestly, I remember being like so grossed out by it. Like I remember, and as she knows this, I remember like scrolling and being like, oh God. And you know why it pissed me off so bad? It's because she was so happy. She was so happy, and two, she was so new. So if you remember your post when you were first becoming a coach, like it screamed salesy. It screamed like picture with your shaker bottle. It screamed all that. But the thing is that she was showing up, and she looked happy and she looked fulfilled. And the thing is like when the last thing that you want to see when you're barely hanging on by a thread is somebody living their best life. So I remember just like scrolling past her and just rolling my eyes every time I saw it. I was 95% sure she was involved with the cult. I was not about to have it. So I just made fun of her from behind the scenes. Like that was literally what I did. But her consistency was admirable. Every day, there she was, working out, raving about her results. And then finally, I went on and I was a reporter. I don't ask questions. I investigate on my own. So I went and I Googled what she was doing. And then I saw that 21 Day Fix was coming out. And this is like back in the DVD era, dinosaur era. And I was like, okay, I want that. That looks cool. I can do that. And so I reached out to her. And again, she was a brand new coach. So I got a message back that was this long about why I needed to buy Shakeology and all the things I was going to get with it. And I'm like, later. So I went on the Beachbody website. I bought 21 Day Fix on my own because I couldn't buy Shakeology. I lied and told her that my boyfriend, which my now husband, bought it for me. And oops, sorry, you can't be my coach. And then I went on and did my journey on my own. So don't ever count those people out because I was that girl. But when my package came in the mail, I'm never going to forget like how excited I was. And in 2 weeks, I lost 7 pounds and I was raving about it all on my own. I was posting about it on social media before I was even involved. And the thing is like, I never had a challenge group. I didn't have a coach because I literally just like did this on my own. I didn't need her. But then all of a sudden I realized that I did need her because she had free Shakeology samples that she was giving out. So I reached back out and I said, I want to try that. And so she sends me a free Shakeology sample. And I remember getting it. And again, I was a researcher. I started looking at it and I literally couldn't deny that it was probably the best thing that I was going to put in my body. And then in 2 weeks before I even finished the program, I was obsessed. I was obsessed with everything Beachbody. I felt good. And I wanted everyone to know about it. And because she was still there for me, despite the fact that I wanted nothing to do with her or to give her money for a challenge bag, I went back to her because I trusted her. She didn't push anything on me. She didn't make me do anything I didn't want to do. And then she goes, you like Shakeology, you should sign up as a coach. And I remember thinking to myself, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this right. I'm not going to be that person that signs up to, you know, just dibble dabble in this thing. I knew that I couldn't afford it. I knew that. And I knew that if I wanted to keep it, I had to go all in. And so the reason that I tell you guys this is because it leads into my topic, and that is burning the rule book, because I can tell you right now that everything about my journey has not gone according to the rule book that Beachbody has laid out for us. I have done everything in my own little sassy way. I have gone about things. I didn't start with the challenge pack. I didn't start with the total solution. Everything from my day one in this business has been against the grain. I haven't done anything that people say is the way to start. And I want to be real here. How many of you on this call, and if you guys can turn your video on, unless you're taking a poop, I like seeing faces. So that would be lovely. But how many of you guys on this call feel like there's like a Beachbody rule book that you have to do your Success Club tracker, post on social media, follow top coaches on social media, seeing what they're doing, talk about Shakeology, talk about our programs, try to rank advance, right? We know all this. It's like in a list for us. And then if you don't do these things, all of a sudden you feel like a failure, right? You're not as good as another coach in the network. And then you begin to convince yourself that this isn't for you. That's how this goes. The real reason coaches quit is not because they suck at this, because the reality of it is that any of us can be great at this, any of us. The reason that coaches quit is because they lose sight of why they started in the first place. They fall victim to comparison in this cookie cutter mold of how they think it should be. But the truth is, guys, when it comes to this business, when it comes to network marketing, when it comes to Beachbody, we have enough blueprints and tactics to make our heads spin. Anywhere you turn, you will see somebody sharing a formula or training on how to be successful in this business. I mean, my God, do a quick Facebook scroll and you're going to see that loser that's like, hey, Beachbody coach, is your coach telling you to send hey girl messages? Like, people are trying to work this stuff all the time, right? I mean, every Monday we have national wake-up calls that are teaching us new things. We're literally in the middle of the biggest consumption week as coaches. You know, we have team calls like this one that educate us and they light us up, and we follow all these people who have found success before us, and a majority of us will never, ever, ever shape our businesses into what they can become because you're trying to be a carbon copy of everyone else. And I love, love, love that Dana said this at the beginning of the call, is that it's all about taking small things, and it's not about absorbing all of it because it's everywhere. You're going to find all of this stuff and all these nuggets, and then all of a sudden, like, you think that that's what it takes to be successful. So you'll start putting all of it together. It won't work, and you think you suck. That's not what this is. In it's a very crowded social media world, especially right now because nobody's leaving home. We're all stuck staring at social media all day, every day. And it's a very crowded social media world. But your potential customers, your potential clients and coaches, they don't need another copycat. They need you. They need the raw you, the real you, the rule breaking, the F-bomb dropping you, right? That's who they need. The you that knows exactly what she wants. The one that knows exactly who she is, the creative you. The you that doesn't need another permission slip to put herself out there and go after all of her dreams. They don't need another Ashley Molstead. They don't need another Kelsey Smith. They don't need another Annalisa or another Dana. They don't need another Melanie Mitchell. They need you. So this call, these next couple of points I'm going to give you guys, it's about helping you squeeze out of this Beachbody box that you've inevitably put yourself into. You did it without even realizing that you did it. Whoa. You're going to reject, this happens when I slam stuff. It's like all my stuff's going to fall off my desk. You're going to reject the status quo. You're going to unfollow tonight when we get off this call. You are going to unfollow any person that makes you feel like you're doing it wrong. And you're going to become in tune with the type of business that you actually want to run and start doing things your way. Does that sound good? Are we cool with this? Are we leading into this? We feel good about this? Cool. Okay. So it's time to choose yourself. Okay. And it's time to become badasses. So how we do this? I'm going to give you guys 5 tips tonight. They're going to help you build your business the way that you want to and not the way people expect of you. Okay. So we're going to dive in. Number 1. Choose yourself and stop waiting to be chosen. How many of you find yourself checking Instagram 100 times a day, praying that your posts get traction? How many of you swipe up in your stories to see how many eyeballs watch that story? You saw only 50 of people were there compared to the 200 from last week and think that everybody started hating you in a matter of 7 days. Right? How did you guys know that a majority of our coaching network is living in a scarcity mindset and you're waiting to get picked? You're waiting to, like, when it comes down to inviting and social media, when you do that, you're waiting for someone to choose you. When you're looking at the eyeballs and you're looking at the comments and looking at the likes on your stuff, you're waiting for someone to say, I like that girl. You literally are waiting and you are wasting time. You are wasting time. Did you know that it's creating massive anxiety in your life and it's actually preventing you from working? Like it's so true. Successful coaches don't wait for their big break. They create it. They don't stop and wait for this post to go viral or to hit a certain rank advancement or for someone to say yes to their team to step into leadership. They just take the reins and they make things happen for themselves. Also, why are you looking for validation in a place full of people who wouldn't dare try what you're doing? We sit there and we wait and we look and we wait for someone to comment and say, well, like, we'll make a post and it's so crafty. My coaches say this to me all the time. They're like, I invited in my post and nobody said that they wanted to join. Nobody dropped an emoji. I'm like, what? So how long have you been sitting there waiting for someone to drop a freaking emoji? Go out and find your people. Like, go out and do it. You're waiting for them to choose you. This is a crowded social media world. I'll say that again. There's Beachbody coaches all over the place. Why would they drop a heart underneath of yours? What if they just need an invite to know that they're allowed to do it with you? What if they're scared? Go find them. Stop waiting for someone to choose you. That leads me right into number 2. Stop looking for approval and absorbing yourself in what other people think of you. Stop caring what other people think of you. Stop waiting for enough likes or enough comments or to hit elite or to hit diamond to start building this thing the way you want to. You don't have to have this certain accolade or this certain title to start actually building a successful business. So many people, myself included, suffer from imposter syndrome. And this is from Mel Robbins. I've learned about this. And it's this feeling that one day you're going to be exposed as a fraud for not being good enough at what you do. And a lot of coaches deal with this. They're like, well, they're going to realize that I just don't have it all together. And they're never going to join my team. Look, you're not an imposter for trying something new. And you most definitely don't need somebody else's approval to go for it. the fastest way for you to get through self-doubt is through action. The end. The fastest way to plow through self-doubt is to take action. Do it anyway. Do those things anyway. The sooner you give yourself permission to build the business of your dreams, the sooner it can actually happen for you. No one is responsible for making this happen for you. And no, your upline is actually not responsible for building your business. Your upline is a gift from the Beachbody gods, okay? Like we go out of our way to do things for you that it's not in my job description to do. And I tell my team that all the time. I'm like, I love you, but I don't have to do this for you. I have my own business to run. I have my own business to build. I love you and I want you to succeed, which is why I take time that I'm not getting paid for to you, because I love you and I want you to succeed. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to make it happen. You must fearlessly and confidently chase your goals and step into this next version of yourself, no matter how many customers you have, how much money you're making, or how much validation you're getting from the outside. And this is a story that I have to tell you guys because I want to tell you why I'm so passionate about this specifically. Dana said I hit elite 3 times and it was awesome. I was proud of my team. It was such a huge accomplishment. But last year is the first time in 3 years that I missed it. And I was torn up about it. Like I was having a hard time. And if you know me, like I am I was thinking that was what made me successful, because guess what? Beachbody makes that such a pedestal that you think you have to run and get it. And when you don't get it, when you've had it, and all of a sudden you don't get it anymore. Like last year, I was invited to speak. I was invited on a national wake-up call when I was elite. I was asked to speak at Summit. And then all of a sudden I don't hit elite and it's like, nothing. Done. But here's what I want to tell you guys, and this is hilarious. After I had my like small, tiny pity party and realized like it's just not happening for us this year. I woke up on January 1st, and you want to hear something crazy? Life wasn't over. My business was still there. It was crazy. I didn't die. I didn't lose my business. I didn't lose any money. And I actually gave myself a raise, a massive $30,000 raise. And I didn't even go elite. So what I'm trying to say here is this year I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it this year 100% with my team. I'm going to do it, but it's not going to be in the way that it was before. I want to make sure that I'm exceeding in every area of my business, and it's going to naturally happen. The thing that I want you guys to understand, I had to have this talk and this like come to Jesus moment with myself and say, okay, you're a mom now. When you tell your daughter 5 years from now, like what you achieved in this business, are you going to tell her about that 3 seconds you got when you got to walk on stage and they called your name? And it hit me like a ton of bricks. Nope. That's not even remotely crossed my mind. You know what I'm going to tell her? Baby, this business allowed me to take you to Disney for your 2nd birthday, which was something I dreamed about doing my entire life. Your first house, we never would have been able to get without this business. You know, Daddy and I, the year you were born, it was a COVID freaking crisis. And we thought that our lives were going to fall apart. But you know what? We actually made more money that year. And we were able to pay off $20,000 of debt in the first 6 months of the year. And because of that, we are starting to save up for our dream house that you're living in right now. You know those beach vacations we go on every summer and we don't have to ask for permission to go anywhere? That's because of this. So I tell you this is because I don't need Beachbody to give me a title to know that I'm doing a good job. I don't need this. I used to, I won't lie, but now it's a little bit different. And when you change your perspective, everything changes with it. That's more powerful. Think about that. The story that you're going to tell yourself 5 years from now. I look back on the last 3 years and it was so awesome walking that stage, but I'm like, damn, I got like 2 seconds, like Kelsey Smith over, like it was gone. It's over. Like that's literally what they give you. But what I've created for my family, that's going to last a lifetime. All right, number 3, no failure is a possibility, but do it anyway. And this is a very hard concept. This is probably what took me the longest to learn, because I am a massive control freak. And if you guys are control freaks, this is going to be painful for you to listen to, okay? It's about valuing the experience over winning and becoming addicted to the feeling of not knowing what's going to happen next. Again, I know that makes you want to puke, like not knowing what's going to happen next, right? But at the end of the day, not knowing and coming up against obstacles and then falling flat on your face, that's vital. Because without failing, there's no way to reinvent yourself. You have to keep building anyway, through rejections, through failure, through the coaches that quit, through the girl that told you that you were 100% was going to be the next runner, and you saw her coach cancellation email come in 2 days later and then she never answers your text messages on why she quit. Through those people too. We all know that. I'm telling you, right? Who cares? Who gives a shit? They are not part of your long-term vision anymore. Those failures are how we grow. Who cares if someone tells us no? Who cares if someone was a hater on our recent posts, right? Every no is a way to pivot. Every single no is a sign. It's a lesson. It's a clue. And it's going to help us get closer to the next step. So I want you guys to keep getting in front of as many people as humanly possible. Keep mastering your skills and keep learning. And look for ways to grow in every failure. You know, what you might think is a failure probably isn't. It really isn't. But at the end of the day, I want you to ask yourselves, how are you handling rejection? Do you freak out? Do you shut down? Do you get defensive? Do you use it as evidence that you're not meant to do this? Are you like creating this like long list in your brain to give to your coach on why you're quitting? You know, look for value in the obstacles and instead of finding reasons why you can't do this, because you can't. Every one of us can. And like I said, I'll say it again, without falling flat on your face at least 3,062 times, you're not going to be able to reinvent yourself. You're not going to be able to learn and to change. What I was doing in 2014 is not what I'm doing in 2020. And what I'm doing in 2020, my God, will sure as hell not be what I'm doing in 2021. It's always about changing and learning from what we've done before to become better. Number 4 is proudly own who you are. Every single time someone comes in contact with you, your social media, a post you make, your Instagram stories, they're starting to come up with an opinion about you. They're starting to get in their brain who you are. When people talk about you, they're talking about your brand. And whether they have an amazing experience with you or a negative one, it reflects that brand. So I want to make this clear. Your brand is not Beachbody. And this is where so many newer coaches go wrong. So if you're somebody that is in your first couple months of your business, I want to prevent you from going through something that you can definitely avoid 100%. And that is understanding that you are your brand, not Beachbody. It's what's important to you. It's like, I want you to think about like a mission statement for your life. What would that look like? What is your purpose in this world? Because that is what you're trying to build your business around. So many coaches flood their feeds with shaker selfies and workout pictures and Beachbody gear. And the thing is, guys, is that'll work for a while, but what you are doing is you're establishing yourself as just another Beachbody coach. And that's not you. Beachbody is a part of you. When someone goes to your page, ask yourself, is that what they're going to say? This is just another Beachbody coach that wants me to drop an emoji? Or are they actually going to get to know you? People to this day do like ask me all the time what I do. Like all the time. They'll go to my page and like they have no idea what company I'm with. Not because like, I mean, you can watch my stories and you can figure that out. I'm talking from my feed. Like I don't post anything saying like, this is what I'm doing, like Beachbody. You don't see Shakeology shakers in my stuff. And I used to, oh my goodness, like I hate this time of year because my gosh, my time hop is crazy. Like I literally have a picture of Shalene Johnson that popped up the other day by herself. I'm like, this is like, I don't know how this worked. Somehow I hit Success Club that month. But for real, like that is who I used to be. And guys, it will work for a little bit, but it will not be sustainable. because everyone has that. Like literally I want you guys to go tonight on your Instagrams and type in Beachbody Coach, the hashtag, and just look at all the things on not to do. Okay. Just do it. Be like, oh God, like it literally screams it. It's like whenever you go to Summit for the first time and you're decked out in like all the program gear from head to toe, like hat, tank top, pants, shoes, like it screams coach, right? And you just want to make sure that they're allowed to get to know you and not the fact that you're with Beachbody. Beachbody's great, but Beachbody doesn't need me to advertise for them. They're doing great. I want them to fall in love with me. You have to shine your light so other people have permission to do the same. You have to tell your story, not Beachbody's, guys. You have to own who you are. You have to write it. You have to scream it. You might have to whisper it. But here's the thing. You have to tell it. And some people are going to understand it. Other people are going to reject it. But a lot of people are going to thank you for it. And then all of a sudden, the most incredible thing is going to happen. The more you that you are, one by one, people are going to start saying me too. And that is how your team is built. That is how this team was built. Not because somebody in this team, I know Annalisa and Dana, they didn't just, yes, they did. I started at the same time as them. So they definitely did post pictures of Shalene Johnson. But eventually they got to the point where they started telling a story and you guys started saying me too. Your people will find you. So instead of trying to reach everyone, just reach someone. You don't need to be the most well-known in this business. You need to be making an impact. Like that was always my philosophy is, again, those accolades are so fun and they would definitely be nice to achieve. And I want you guys to understand that I'm not saying to not push for them. That diamond dash that Keith's doing right now, please go all in with that. Like it is a non-negotiable to rank advance your business. That is not what I'm saying. The reason you have to rank advance your business is because every time you rank advance your business, that means you're impacting more people. That is why I help my team rank advance their business. Because if you stay emerald, that means that you're literally only helping 2 people until the end of time. And that is not okay with me for my team. I'm like, you literally are just going to sit there with no people for the rest of your life? Like, what kind of impact is that? So you have to rank advance your business. Diamond means you've helped 12. Star diamond means you're duplicating. 2-star diamond means you're duplicating. That is what that means. And then in order for your team to understand how to grow, you have to lead from the front. So that is my side note on rank advancement, because I don't want you guys to think that I'm saying don't chase accolades, because they are fun. And my gosh, like I love getting recognized too. So don't think that that's not part of it. It just can't be everything. And you can't determine your worth off of that is what I'm trying to say. And you want to be known for the impact. I want to join a team not because that their leader is like I wouldn't, there's 15-star diamond coaches out there that I still wouldn't join, because I'm just like, we have nothing in common. Like there was nothing about that person that like draws me into them. So like, I want you guys to think that it's like what type of impact you're making. The reason our team is having a record-breaking recruiting year. And I'll tell you why, because we made a goal as a team to help 1,000 people get a transformation in 2020. That was what we decided to do. We didn't set an elite goal. We didn't set a superstar goal this year. We said, how can we help 1,000 people get a transformation this year? And everything that we do revolves around that. Every post we make on social media, every hashtag we use, everything every conversation we have with people, every time a new coach comes into our team, every coach sneak peek we have, we're talking about this goal. And then we decided to make it a goal that once we hit 1,000 transformations, our team is literally going on a massive vacation together. We picked the city and we're going because we're going to celebrate the fact that we were able to help 1,000 people change their lives. It was a back to basics goal. And we decided that's what we wanted the impact to be. And it's crazy how many people want to jump on board with that, because people out in the social media world, they don't care about pushing for 15-star diamond because that means nothing to them. But when we say we're going to help 1,000 people with our tiny team, that is super freaking awesome. And that fact they get to go on vacation, like that's cool. So last but not least, that was a complete side note. That was not where I was intending to talk about, but I'm just saying, make an impact. We're still rank advance your business and make an impact. Okay. Last but not least, this is going to feel like I'm kind of like beating a dead horse, but this is probably the most important part of the entire call. And that is having a vision for your business. And the last thing that I want to happen is for you guys to open your eyes on December 31st, 2020, and realize that absolutely nothing has changed. doesn't that freak you out? That you literally can go 366 days this year, because it's a leap year, making zero change in your life? That you're in the exact same spot that you were in 2019, or maybe the same spot as 2018. I don't know about you guys, but like, I don't want to feel like I'm coasting through my life and then I'm not making any sort of impact around the people around me. And that 60 to 70 years from now, I have absolutely nothing to be proud of. Again, you heard me talk about my goals and the vision that I have for my baby and for our life. That is worth fighting for me. That is worth showing up every single day. And if I wake up on December 31st, the same income, same rank, the same, team, not ever challenging myself, the same person, because we should be growing ourselves every single day, then I'm doing something wrong. We all have the potential to be something great. Every single one of us. We all have something buried deep within each of us that's like longing to be exposed. We have creative ideas. We have unlimited potential. And there's this power that's buried so deep within each of you that if you could just reach a tiny part of it, it would change your entire life. And so when I say having a vision for your business, it's taking all the things that I just said. It's taking burning the rule book. It's doing things your way, figuring out what type of business you want to build, but you have to know what you want. You have to know where this business is going. Because if you don't know where you're going to end up, I can tell you right now, you're going to end up in a really weird spot. You're going to be like that little hamster on a hamster wheel. You're just going to be going. And I'm going to be sprinting by, waving at you as you've been doing it, because that is literally my mindset. Like, I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to and my goal right now, like my mission in my life and in my business, is to pull as many women off of that stupid hamster wheel as I possibly can and get them running with me. Because there is so much more to life than the 9 to 5 and the not being around your babies as they grow up and missing events and having to clock in. And for me, there's so much more than that. So I want you guys to understand, what is it that you want for your business? Rank advancement, income, where are you going? Where are you traveling? The end. And I'm going to leave you guys with this. This is something I do with my team, and I hope this will be helpful. I'll give this to Dana so that way she can give it to you guys. But the way to help with your vision, here, what I do with my new coaches is that a lot of people will get on a call with their new coaches, and I just do things a little bit differently. And they say, you got to hit Emerald, you got to hit Success Club, whatever. I just can't get myself to do that because, again, they have no idea what that means and what that's going to do for their life. So what I've decided to do, and what we've been doing now for a year, my entire team does it, and it's so effective, is, and I hope that you guys will do this too, is that you get a sheet and it has 4 quadrants. And there's a list of 10 in each quadrant. One says physical, one says financial, one says personal, and one says business. And before I tell my new coaches, I want 10 physical goals, 10 financial, 10 personal. Don't write anything in business. And they say, okay. And then I tell them, I'm like, start dreaming like crazy. And then they'll send them back to me, and they'll tell me that they want to make $50,000, or they want to pay off credit cards, or that they want to run a 5K, or that they want to take their kid to Disney World. And then guess what I do? I take all those goals and then I help them set their 10 business goals. Because then I can sit there and explain and say, hey, you're going to want to become a success starter because you said that you want to, complete 6 programs from start to finish this year. I want to help you become a success starter because you actually will get access to one like 5 months before the rest of the network does. You'll be in a test group. I think that'll hold you accountable to your goals. Can we push to help you get that? Yeah. How do I become a success starter? Okay. Well, you got to hit Success Club 3 months or 3 times, or help to hit Success Club 3 out of the next 6 months. Do you think you can do that? Yeah. Cool. How do I do that? Cool. Let's put your next goal. I'm going to help not sell 9 challenge packs in the next 3 months. The end. Okay. You're going to hit Emerald, and here's why. We want to unlock that residual income. You said that you want to be making an extra $250 a month. Well, if you're just sitting there on commissions, you're going to literally be working your ass off for the rest of your life. So let's get you to at least rank advance up, so that way you can have some residual income coming in. Whether it starts off at $14 or $28, any dollar counts. Does that work for you? Yep. How do I do that? Sign up 2 discount coaches the exact same way you signed up. So basically what I'm doing with my coaches now is they're setting their personal goals, and then I help them set their business goals. So I want you guys to do the exact same thing. It's not too late. We're in the middle of the year, and this week is so crucial because now you have the ability to decide where you want to end this year. And you can look for all the tools and all the trainings. You can find the resources and all the things that you need to get there. So what I recommend that you guys do is burn whatever rule book that you've been following up to this point. And I recommend that you sit down and you say, here is what I want for myself in the next 5 years. I'm going to become a 6-figure earner in this business. I'm going to complete the ultimate reset. Like that was like on my physical one. I'm going to, whatever it might be. You're going to fill out all these things personal. Like for me, I put under personal last year, help my sister, pay for my sister's rehearsal dinner. And it was the coolest thing in the entire world to be able to send a check and do that. And guess what? My business goal went around that. It was like, okay, I need to be making X amount of money that, like throughout this to put money aside. And I literally was setting my business goals based off of my life goals. And guys, when you do this, it makes it so much easier to show up because you're going to hit like, and honestly doing this week before you really start this diamond push and figuring out why you really need to hit diamond, because how much money you're losing by being an emerald, not cycling at your full potential. That's when you can start wrapping your brain around the fact that, you know, okay, if I want to make an extra X amount of money a month, I need to be cycling X amount of time. And guys, this might be harder. That's why you have your upline help you set those business goals. So start with what you want out of your life, burn the rule book, and then make a decision that things are going to change. And then in the next 6 months, go at it. All right. That's what I got for you.
That was amazing. That was like, couldn't have been more perfect timing for our team and what we all needed to hear, especially as we prep to go into Summit Week and Diamond Dash. I would love if anybody wants to unmute and share like a powerful takeaway they had tonight, something that really spoke to you. Don't all chime in at once.
Me! Everything. No, honestly, I love hearing you talk, Kelsey, because you always just speak from your experiences and what's working for you. And it's obviously all of these things are working and are creating such success for you and your team. But I do really love I love all your 5 points, but I really love the last part about this grid and the simplest way to make your business goals motivating to do it that way. And I just love that. And I think it will just change the mindset for so many people and the motivating factor. So love it.
I just love that you're like the perfect mix of truth and tough love, also mixed with like vision and heart, and then the goal setting. Like it's all so important and relevant for this business. And like, if one's missing, then the other ones are all kind of off kilter. And I love that you just kind of nail all those categories and owning this and making it what you want it to be. Does anybody else want to chime in?
I would like to say something that really like resonated with me that kind of just makes me feel validated is that I kind of feel like from the beginning, I have done things a little bit differently. Like, I feel like everybody is going towards Instagram. And I was so afraid, Dana, you'll probably remember this. I was so afraid to get an Instagram account. Like, it was like a big deal for me. And I got one and I put stuff on it. But honestly, the bulk of my business comes from Facebook. And I just hit diamond a couple weeks ago, which is a goal of mine for 2 years. And I'm hoping I'm going to hit 1 star for this Diamond Dash. But another thing that really, really struck me in the beginning is just a couple of things that I have done differently that I personally feel like this is how it's going to work for me, and that other people might have said, I wouldn't go that route, but it's ended up working for me. So do what you feel is going to work for you. And you don't always have to follow the mold. Be your own mold. So I liked that. Thank you.
Yeah, I use Pinterest for like half my business stuff too. Like I'm all over the place. I just like throw stuff out there, see what works, and then I move away from it. Like I don't do anything on Facebook anymore. But like you said, it works for you, so freaking stay there. You know, that's the best part about this business is that we don't have to do it the same way. One of my coaches, if you guys have seen her in the Difference Maker movement page, Kenzie Clark, she's like Success Club 70,000. She literally gets all of her people off of TikTok, and I like watch her videos and I cringe. I'm like, oh my God, I could never do that. She's just like all over the place. It's just crazy.
So I'll chime in real quick. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, okay, cool. What I really liked that stood out to me is that, and I was actually having this conversation with, she's not on, she was on, Amanda, Dama, I can't even pronounce her name, but you guys know Dama Black, whatever. Anyway, so we were talking today, and it was talking about like leading your business with joy, leading with intention to help people with the basics, leading about like, you know, with just putting out there, like we're here to help people change their lives. We're here, like that's the first thing that we signed up to do, right? To change our lives. Like, yes, the accolades are nice. Yes, the recognition is awesome. Yes, all those things do move your business forward. But if we aren't getting to the basics, it's like if we're not doing that part, we're not doing our job. So, and that's the biggest takeaway I always bring back from Summit, like, especially when you end the evening watching these Beachbody Challenge winners, right? And you see these massive transformations. It just reinforces the fact that we're here to do a job to help people just change their lives, change their health, and be a better person. And all that other stuff will follow. Like if you're going in with your heart like that.
Yeah, and I think a perfect example of that for your guys' team is Ashley. Like, holy shit, over done 100 pounds. Like, that is what our job is to do. Like, our job is that. And that's why Ashley's still here, because she's like, as a believer. And like, I literally, whenever you said that she won, and I was like looking at her Zoom box and she was dancing, and you could just see how much how happy she was. And like, that is what's important to me, is seeing that stuff. Like, that was like, I was all in my feelings. I was like watching her dance in her box. Like, that is so like that, like that's what this business is about. And I think we forget that sometimes. Is just, that's why I became a coach, is to watch people dance in their Zoom box for at least 100 pounds. Like, that is freaking awesome.
And that's what I think is like, when you're in the trenches, because I am that coach that has been like stuck at that emerald, never dropped it, stuck, right? And I finally have like a good bulk of challengers now who are sending me their transformations, and like that is what's fueling me now, like more than anything. Yes, I am very close to dying. but I think before it was just like, okay, like how do I, show this passion that I have for what I'm doing, right? Because like everyone has an image in their head about like what Beachbody is, and what type of people do Beachbody and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, like I want to break that mold. Like, yes, there are Black people in Beachbody. Yes, there are curvy women in Beachbody. like all of this stuff. But like, then it also goes back to like, okay, like what about my brand? What's my brand? I don't really know what my brand is. What do I like to do? Well, I can't really do much now. Like, and you get stuck in like that, like cycle of just like keep like self-evaluating yourself. But like now I'm just sitting here, I'm like, no, you know who you are. To like stop trying to please everyone else on my social media and stuff, and like just be unapologetically shameless, give two fucks me. So
That's why you're close to diamond, is because you're making your shift like that. Like, that's literally why. And that's contagious. That's so contagious.
All right, awesome. If you guys need more Kelsey in your life, because let's be real, I could listen to her all day. Kelsey has a podcast called The Control Freak, and it is amazing. Pop her in your earbuds when you're working out or taking a walk, or you need a kick in the pants with some tough love and motivation. Thank you so much, Kelsey, for hopping on tonight. And we will see you guys all on Summit calls. And by the way, if you're in the Diamond Dash, they're hosting a Zoom link so that we can all hop on and watch it together. So that's a great option. And one announcement I totally forgot at the beginning of the call. We are now going to do a success Club Rockstar Pod. So once you hit Success Club 4 or above, you're getting added into the pod for that month. It is a fun thread that we have going on Facebook. It's just lots of hype. We check in every day. We share our wins. We share what's working, and just really keeping that energy and that momentum going together. So we'll see you all later this week. Thanks, Kels.